Let's begin with the character introduction for Captain Ramus.
Uh, Captain Marco Ramius is indeed a descendant of Captain Marco Alexandrovich Ramius, the Lithuanian-born Soviet Union subcommander of the Red October, who defected to the U.S. in the late 20th century. Marco's grandfather, however, would later emigrate to Scotland to live with his Scottish-born wife, Grace, the famous Dr. Grace Connery, a pioneer in advancing radiation shielding on spaceship hulls. She worked in the defense industry contracted to Starfleet. Marco was born and raised in Edinburgh, Scotland. He went to Starfleet Academy and served on various starships as an ops officer and XO until his promotion to captain and taking command of the USS Lexington. Captain Ramius enjoys drinking hot chamomile tea while sitting in his chair on the bridge, and he is known for carrying an antique pocket watch that he uses to track timings of particular events and as a way to judge the accuracy of his science officers' timing assessments.
Let's have the introduction for Commander Lorien.
I am Rigel, and I am playing Commander Lorien, the first officer of the Lexington. People familiar with Star Trek Enterprise will recognize the name and the image. So yes, this is the half-human, half-Vulcan son of Commanders Tucker and T'Pol from that show, although his hybrid nature is something of a secret. Like his elder sister Tamir, Lorien entered a career path different from his parents and spent several decades in the Vulcan security services. Following their deaths, he joined the Federation Marines, but 2 years ago, for some reason, he was transferred to Starfleet. He is married and has 3 children.
I am Gigerman, playing Lieutenant Commander Darzan Dallas, who is one of a very few Trill serving in Starfleet, though not the first. The dual nature of the Trill is not yet known to Starfleet and won't be for centuries. The 150-year-old Dallas is an espionage agent for the Trill assigned to infiltrate Starfleet for reasons. And Darzan was chosen as a somewhat young host that could be easily controlled by the symbiote and talented enough on his own to be selected for and fast-tracked through the Starfleet Academy, along with some necessary medical exemptions to keep the secret. Darzan excelled at his job and was promoted to lieutenant commander around 8 years into service and is still mostly unaware of Dallas' mission, though he's long begun to suspect something.
All right, thank you. Let's have Lieutenant Commander Psylocke.
Well, all right. My name is FX Engineer. I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Psylocke. He's a Vulcan. He is the chief engineer and very intelligent, well-educated Vulcan who had a promising career on the planet Vulcan in the science and engineering fields. However, due to a sort of genetic condition, he has to take certain drugs which have basically sort of alienated him from his community. And although they allowed him to continue, he didn't feel like he was being treated properly. So he decided to look elsewhere for opportunities. And the Federation was more than happy to have him come aboard. He was fast-tracked through their system, quickly got promoted, and is now, as I mentioned earlier, Lieutenant Commander. That's all I got.
Thank you. Lastly, tell us about Lieutenant Jones.
Right. Dr. Michaela Jones. She is the chief medical officer and lieutenant on our ship. A little bit of her history. She grew up on Earth in Scotland, and she was an only child of 2 parents she doesn't really particularly care to speak of. She was a doctor first. She graduated from medical school at the age of 28 before she joined Starfleet as a medical officer. She has focused all of her time and energy on her career and has not sought out any sort of relationship of any kind since before joining Starfleet. Her vow, the most important vow that she has, is that she will refuse no request for medical aid, regardless of who it is. She is a born healer with an empathy towards her patients, as well as an ability to suss out people's true intentions. She has a bit of a twisted sense of humor and enjoys annoying the Vulcans on the crew with bad puns and jokes. She avoids alcohol, finding that it upsets her stomach a bit, but she has a habit of seeking out gambling establishments. And after a particularly bad encounter with a Ferengi, she's adopted the outlook that one can never, ever trust them. She is a bit of a clean freak, and her sickbay is always tidy. Woe be unto whoever tracks dirt into her realm.
Thank you. And that is our crew for the USS Lexington.